Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Business English. Well, as you may know, it's Christmas is only a week away, and you probably have the Christmas party season in full swing. So maybe you have to socialize with your colleagues in English in Christmas parties or at Christmas parties. And maybe the thought of that is making you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, well, before you get drunk and make a fool of yourself in front of your colleagues, I'm going to give you some useful conversation starters which should have you socializing in no time and without feeling embarrassed. So what I want to do in this episode is to give you a question that you can ask, and then some ideas for follow-up comments or questions. All right. So remember, before we go any further, the most important part of being a great conversationalist is actually to be a great listener. Remember that from our previous episode. So if you want some more tips on how to be a better listener, then you should take a look at episode 55 of The Art of Business English. Okay, let's get started with our Christmas party conversations starters. So I'll kick things off with some of the more traditional conversation starters, okay? And basically what I'm going to do is you can lead with these questions, and then I'll also give you some follow-up questions. So let's take a look at the first one, which is our traditional Christmas party conversation starters. So, which department do you work in? That's a typical question, no? With someone you don't know. And then you could say marketing. Sounds interesting. How has your year been? Okay, so you're following up with a present perfect question. How has your year been? Next one we could say is, have you worked here long? Okay, remember, this is if you have not met the person before, obviously. And then once that, you could say, 2 years. So how's the job going? Okay, so you can ask for a bit of confirmation there on how they're finding the job. Next thing is, do you follow football? A very typical question. You can ask questions about sport. Me too. Did you see the Barca match last weekend? So that's a great, easy way to get you started talking about some sports. Doesn't necessarily have to be football. It could be tennis or whatever sport you're interested in. And how are you enjoying the party so far? So just a quick question about if the person is enjoying the party or not. Then you could say, good to hear. So can I get you a drink? And the next one is, what are you drinking? Okay. Or what you drinking? Okay. We can just forget the article in this, a bit more colloquial. And so what did you have for dinner? So if it's a menu there, you could ask them what they had for dinner. Then that could lead on to more questions about the food and whether they enjoyed it. Okay, so let's continue with some more traditional Christmas party conversation starters. So, all the food looks so good. I'm not sure what to get. What are you thinking? Or what have you tried? Okay, so that's when you're at the dinner table, you can ask those questions. The fish does look good. Do you enjoy cooking? So a question about cooking. I like cooking, so anyone who asks me that, I'm happy to talk about cooking. Next one, you could say, and here we're going to insert an adjective. So we could say, what a lovely venue, or what a terrible venue. I mean, it depends on how you see the venue. And then, have you been here before? Yes, it's my first time too. I wonder how much this place costs. And then, it's not. Have things improved since your last visit? So you could, depending on if they answer yes or no, you can modify your response. Remember, going back to what I said earlier, being a great conversationalist means you are a great listener. So you really need to listen to what the person tells you and modify your response in response to their keywords or what they say. Okay. So the next one is, what have you got planned for Christmas? Very easy question to answer, especially at Christmas time. So you could say, me too. Lots of dinners and lunches. Do you do anything special on Christmas Eve? So there's another question leading in, okay? All right, then let's continue with some more traditional Christmas party conversation starters. So, have you bought Christmas presents yet? Easy question to answer as well. You haven't? Do you need some present ideas? So here you can share your present ideas with them, okay? Or you could say, you have? Did you buy any cool presents? Again, it depends if they have or haven't. So, we are answering the question in response to what they say. What do you want for Christmas this year? It's a nice question. Everyone wants something for Christmas. Sounds nice. Do you think you will get it? Okay, so if they tell you, what have you bought for the kids? I need some ideas. It's always a good one if you both have children. Good idea. Did you buy that online or locally? And obviously with this one, we could lead on to where they bought it online or where they bought it locally. Okay. So how does your family celebrate Christmas? All right. So when we open our presents together as a family, but we have an interesting way of doing it. How do you manage present opening? Okay. So, most families have a specific way that they open presents, whether it be in the morning, first thing in the morning, or they wait for the family, or if they do it with the kids separately. I mean, there's many, many ways you can open presents. So, that's another question that you could be asking. Okay, now, next thing. So, right, there are a few of the typical ways that you can open up a conversation in a pretty non-offensive way. I mean, most of these questions are easy to answer. And remember that we're always listening for the key words to answer. And by listening to the key words, we're able to generate a further question. Okay, and it's very important that we're listening to the person. And this way we can keep the conversation moving along smoothly. Now, in the next part of the episode, what I would like to do is get you guys to have a look at some deeper Christmas party conversation starters. Okay, so if you are feeling a bit more comfortable with the person and you want to generate some more interesting discussion and go a bit deeper, you could try some of the following. So let's take a look at those now. Right, let's look at some deeper Christmas party conversation starters. Okay, my favorites. So what projects have you been working on this year? Definitely a work-related question. So you could say, oh, really? What challenges have you faced? So you're going straight into some more deeper questions. You're asking people about some of the struggles they had, which is pretty, maybe a bit more uncommon. The next one, and what has been your greatest success? People love to talk about their successes. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. How would you rate your year from 1 to 10? It's an interesting question. Who often asks you that? I don't think I'm often asked that question at all. So here's a response. Really? An 8? So pretty good. Why was that? All right. And then the next one. Oh, a 4. Wow, what happened? Okay, so, but be ready. If someone says a 4, be ready for some negative comments. Maybe they say, well, I got divorced this year. So, sorry about that. Maybe that's something that I want to talk about. So again, you need to listen to what they say. Okay. All right. What New Year's resolutions have you got in mind? None? Why don't you like to make resolutions? Okay. So I love talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm a motivated and mindful person. So I think they're very important to get you started, or get you starting the year in a positive way. Wow, those sound great. Do you have any tips for making sure you follow them? That's a great question. I mean, most people struggle. They say, I'm going to stop smoking, or I'm going to lose 5 kilos, but then they never follow through with their New Year's resolutions. So some good tips on how to stay focused and make those New Year's resolutions come true would be great, wouldn't it? All right, let's continue with some deeper Christmas party conversation starters. So what is your best Christmas memory? Wow. I'm not sure you'd get asked that very often, but it's a good question, isn't it? Wow. Mine was when I still love Christmas every year. I think it's awesome as a parent. What about you? Okay, so again, making sure the person has kids is important for this question. Probably should have established that already. All right, what is an ideal Christmas for you? That's a nice question. People can think about, the idyllic Christmas. So interesting. I will have to adopt some of your ideas. For me, it's, do you like to go away for Christmas? I mean, it's a pretty easy question to answer, but you could then lead on to some questions about travel and where they've been. Okay. So next one. So here we are at a work function. But what I really want to know is, what is your dream job? Okay, so that's a good one. That's a cheeky question. Maybe they'll feel a bit nervous answering that question, because they'll think, are you my boss? What if my boss finds out? But anyway, that sounds awesome. You could say mine would be, it's a nice way to generate some discussion. Next one will be, how do you think you can get your dream job? So that's a difficult question to answer. Sometimes people have a dream job, but they've got no idea about how they could get it. Sorry. Okay, let's move on to some more deeper Christmas party conversation starters. So, what's been your happiest moment this year? I think it's a lovely question. No one ever asks that, but for me, it's a nice question. You could say, that's lovely. Mine was when. The next one, what do you think will make you happiest next year? I mean, that's a great question to ask someone. Talking about all the positive stuff and keeping them engaged. All right, next one is, what has been your biggest disappointment this year? Ooh, that could be a negative question. But, if you're feeling comfortable with that person, you could then lead with the following one. Oh, that sucks. Never mind. Live and learn. And then, which is a great follow-up question, what lesson do you think you learnt from that or from that experience? So that's a good one. I mean, if you are comfortable with someone and, you're really engaging with them, then these questions are going to be a lot of fun to answer. Okay. Let's go on then and look at another one. How do you think you have grown either personally or professionally this year? Ooh, I love that question. If someone asked me that, I would really have to think about it, but it'd be fun to answer. Okay, that sounds really cool. Do you have any personal development ideas for next year? So that's a great one as well. So then, by engaging and asking these interesting questions, you can also get some ideas for yourself and for your next year. So how can we be better at our job? Wow. I mean, that's a good question at work. Maybe, maybe you're taking on a coaching role here and people are going to be like, I've never really thought about that. But it's a good way to get people thinking, okay? That's some great advice. If I could improve one aspect, it would be. And then what would you like to improve most? So again, you're really provoking thought with these ones. All right. So, that brings us to the end of the deeper Christmas party conversation starters. Now, we have to remember that these may be too deep, okay, for some people, and others may love this type of conversation. So just be sensitive to that. The deeper questions can be saved for those really interesting people, okay, that you meet, and those who can save you from banal work function conversations that serve no purpose, okay, but to pass the time. Okay, personally, I hate those conversations. For me, they suck. Okay, I love meeting new and interesting people, and having some really deep conversation. I mean, what's the point of being at a function with lots of interesting people if you just talk about the weather or sports and things like that? Okay, so let's look then at easier Christmas party conversation starters to wrap up this episode. Okay, so just in case you need to bring the conversation back to the banal world, then here are some questions that you could ask people to return to the surface. Okay, so if you've gone too deep and maybe the person looks a bit uncomfortable, you could transition back to these. So let's take a look at the following ones. Right, easier Christmas party conversation starters. So, how many days are you taking off over Christmas? Super easy. Nice, I would love to take more, but I'm saving for summer. Is your husband or wife working? Are you going anywhere at Christmas? Again, easy question to answer. Oh, nice. Sounds great. What will you be doing in Prague? And is it your first time there? Another one, have you got any kids or have you got young kids specifically? Oh, teenagers. So, what do teenagers want for Christmas these days? Very interesting question to ask because maybe you've got no idea what to buy your teenage son or daughter. Another one could be, is it hard buying for your husband or wife? I just don't know what to get anymore. Yeah, me too. What do you get someone who has everything? Okay, pretty typical there. Can you recommend any good wines for Christmas? Okay, if you like to drink wine, maybe you're interested in buying some nice wines. You could change that for, can you recommend any good books for Christmas if you like to read? Great. And where did you get that from? Or where did you get them from? Okay? So basically that is it. Remember, we just need to project confidence while embracing our nervousness, all right? Remember, it's okay to be nervous as long as you don't show it too much, okay? So that is pretty much it. There you have it. 4 easy questions to get back on track when someone isn't responding well to your deeper questions. And I hope that these serve you well and lead to wonderful and interesting conversation. So some final thoughts before we go. Well, my friends, as always, that brings us to the end of a quick episode this week. These questions can be memorized or written down, okay, on a piece of paper and then put into action at your next work Christmas party. And once you've broken the ice with people, I'm sure you'll get into the swing of things and the conversation will flow and you'll have some engaging and interesting discussions. But before I go, I'd just like to remind you that you can get a copy of our 500 Business Collocations ebook at a special AOBE listeners price, okay, by going to www.theartofbusinessenglish.com/get500. And if you're looking for Christmas ideas, that would be a great one for anyone who's trying to improve their business English. And finally, be sure to subscribe to The Art of Business English for your free weekly dose of valuable business English content, okay? And you can subscribe at theartofbusinessenglish.com/subscribe, okay? There are all the ways to get AOBE, the AOBE podcast. You can get it on iTunes, on Spotify or Stitcher, or we'll send you an email every week for free with each episode, okay? So that's all from me. Don't forget that you should not be leaving your Christmas shopping to the last minute, okay? So if you haven't started, get out there and get it done. Have a great week, and I'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye for now.